Well, it turns out that 2022 is shaping up to be a lot like 2021 when it comes to pricing for Tesla, and that's not good news for anybody. Last year set the benchmark for price increases at Tesla because there were so many price increases. There were 12 total changes in price. There was only one of those 12 where the price actually went down. So 11 of 12 of those price changes were increases. Here we are in 2022, and although it was quiet in January and February, March is becoming a very active year for pricing at Tesla. Late last night, Tesla did update prices, and I need to warn you ahead of time, this is one of the bigger ones that Tesla has ever rolled out. It was just a few days ago that Tesla increased prices by $1,000 on the long-range Model 3, the long-range Model Y, and the performance Model Y. The other thing that we saw just a few days ago from Tesla is that they are rolling out a new delivery schedule based on what kind of car you order. So not only do you have the standard delivery time by ordering a specific model, but if you add full self-driving, it appears they're going to front load you to the very front of the line. And although this is not really exciting for many people who've been waiting for their car for a long time, this is a way to get a car much sooner. But that comes at a $12,000 price tag. So for $12,000, you can add full self-driving and get to the front of the line, apparently. Now, I have heard from a number of you who have added full self-driving to their existing order, and although you had a very long lead time before you expected delivery, a lot of people got notified pretty quickly that their vehicle was going to be delivered very soon. So if you add full self-driving to an existing order, you will be brought to the front of the line. And in many cases, some of you are going to be receiving your car here this quarter. I'm not suggesting that you should or should not do that, but that is one way to accelerate your delivery. Now, for the rest of you who don't want to spend $12,000 on full self-driving, I totally understand, and unfortunately, you're going to get kicked to the back of the line. I'm not saying that's fair, I'm not saying that's right, and it does suck for everybody, but Tesla is very clearly prioritizing highest average sales price for deliveries this quarter. At the end of this quarter, once Tesla has announced their financial results for Q1 of 2022, I would not anticipate these types of activities to slow down anytime soon. Tesla has been making this pivot over the last year where it seems like priority has been focused on profit margin. Now, this is a publicly traded company, and the whole purpose of a public company, especially in the automotive space, is to make money. No question about it, but Tesla has industry-leading margins, and that continues to improve. If they're all of a sudden going to be delivering more full self-driving cars than they typically have, and it went up by $2,000 recently, that would suggest that Tesla is going to continue to grow those margins. They hit 30% in Q4 of 2021. So Q1 of 2022, I would expect to see a gross margin north of 30%, which is unbelievable in the automotive space. So let's get on with it. Here's the bad news on price increases that just happened last night. The standard range Model 3 was actually spared last month from a price increase, but this month they're making up for it. There's going to be a $2,000 increase. It now starts at $46,990. The long range now starts at $54,490, or a $2,500 increase, and the performance now starts at $61,990, which is a $3,000 increase. The long range Model Y increased to $62,990, which is a $3,000 increase. The performance also had a $3,000 increase at $67,990. This month, the Model S and the Model X were also increased, and these are some pretty big ones as well. So for those of you who have been keeping an eye on the S and X, here's the new prices on those. The Model S long range now starts at $99,990, which is up $5,000. The Plaid Model S now starts at $135,990, which is a $6,000 increase. On the Model X, the long range did go up by $10,000 and now starts at $14,990. The Plaid Model X now starts at $138,990, or a $12,500 increase. Now, not that long ago, I talked about average sales price in the United States had exceeded $47,000 for the first time in history. So the average new car sells for $47,000 here in the United States, and the Model 3 standard range was still just below that. But with this last round of price increases, it seems that Tesla has decided that their lowest price car is going to be the average price of cars on the road. So if you think of it from that perspective, is a Tesla worth at least the average cost of every new car that's sold on the road? Probably. But there's a lot of things that go into that. So when you look at this, of course, there are inflationary pressures, especially this year as things continue to accelerate, as prices go up on input costs. But in reality, the biggest driver of prices at Tesla continues to be demand. We're here in March, many cars you can't get until December of this year, and we're getting ready to roll over to you can't get them at all in 2022 already, which is pretty crazy. It just goes to show that demand, as they continue to increase prices, does not seem to be slowing down at any reasonable pace. So it's not surprising to see a company like Tesla continue to increase prices as they cannot fulfill customer demand. Now, once Giga Austin comes online, it'll be interesting to see if those timelines start to come in more and if we can start to get more steady pricing. But I want to talk about something a little bit crazy, because since January of 2021, prices have gone absolutely bonkers in some categories. Over on the Model 3, the standard range Model 3 at its lowest price is now $11,000 more today than it was in January or February of 2021. That's a 30% increase on the base model of any Tesla that you can get. That's a pretty significant increase. The long range did fare a little bit better at $8,500 in increases since February of 21, but that's still 18%, which is much closer to the industry average as far as we've seen new prices go up. On the performance, it did go up $7,000 since January of 21, which is a 13% increase since last year. Over on the Model Y, which is no surprise, prices have absolutely skyrocketed since the car launched in 2020. Here's where things are really crazy. In February of 2021, the long-range Model Y was $14,000 less than it sells for today. If you were to order the car today, you're going to pay $14,000 more than its lowest price. Now, that lowest price was only available for like a week, but still even $13,000 more than where there was a big period of time when you could have got this for $49,990. That's a 29% increase, which is in line with the cheapest Model 3. The performance Model Y is up $8,000 since January of 2021, which is a 12% increase, which is much more in line, again, with the industry average of new car prices. Now, I'm not going to sit here and justify all these price increases and say that Tesla is absolutely in the right, but I do want to point out all the other manufacturers have continued to increase prices. Whether you see that on the sticker price or not is irrelevant. Rebates have all but gone away across the board, and their base prices have gone up. Forget the dealer markup, because that's irrelevant. That is very specific to your local dealer and what they think is the right business practice. But the industry as a whole has been going up, and they have been going up by thousands and thousands of dollars over this last 2 years. Ford just announced they're going to do something that Tesla did not that long ago, which is to start ship cars with missing components. So if you remember, Tesla started shipping cars without USB-C plugs in those cars, and maybe the charging pad was missing. But it looks like the other manufacturers are going to start doing that as well. And we've seen this over the last year as well. They've been removing options and adjusting how cars are built to accommodate the chip shortage. This is not going to go away anytime soon. And they're not going to lower prices as they ship these cars incomplete. Ford did say that they're going to ship these cars with missing components and deliver those components within a year. So it sounds like they're going to try to still sell that car without the parts available today and then install them when they're available, which is much better than some cars that are just removing options altogether. So something that I said a lot last year, if you're thinking about getting a Tesla, the best time to get one is yesterday. And that still is the case, even though we're seeing a pretty substantial increase here today on Tesla models across the board. There's no guarantee and there's no end in sight to these increases. So although it seems like there's no way it can go more, we've been saying that every time prices have increased, and they've increased prices 13 of 14 changes in the last year and 2 months. So if you're thinking about getting a Tesla, I know that this is painful, but at some point you're going to have to submit your order and lock in those prices. So although this is not great news, I do hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, of course, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BeardedTesla. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time.